Hi, it's Damon from Haldimand Motors. I'm here with Chris Atkins, a local videographer, and today on Car Conversations with Haldimand Motors, we'll be talking to him. But first, let's get in this nice Chevy Silverado and get onto it.
This is a great looking truck. I can't wait to try it out.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
So Chris, I hear that you were off the Turks and Caicos and it's going to be coming out on the History Channel. Can you tell me a bit more about it?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's something that I never really would have expected, that I would be on the other side of the camera. My whole career has been behind the camera, so even this is a little strange for me right now. But yeah, about a year ago, I got a call because I do some diving, and I've got a really good friend, Mike Fletcher, who is a very well-known diver. He was the host and main diver of the show The Sea Hunters on National Geographic for years, and we've been friends. My very first camera job was actually working on his first big shipwreck, and he got a call to go and look around the islands of Turks and Caicos for a mysterious, legendary U-boat that's possibly filled with all kinds of gold and treasure, and is even rumored to possibly have the body of Hitler on it.
Oh wow!
And anyways, Mike got a call to go do this, and he wondered if I would want to, if I'd want to join him and be a diver with him and do the underwater photography. And I absolutely, yeah. So we went and did it along with our friend Sam McDonald, who owns Deep Trekker. She's created her own underwater robotic system. It's a company that's growing and doing all kinds of really cool stuff, and she's a robotics expert. So Mike put the team together of Mike, myself, and Sam, and then the History Channel, they decided to document it, and they've made it an episode of Lawrence Fishburne's show, History's Greatest Mysteries.
Oh wow!
And so that was a year ago. We went and spent a few weeks in the Caribbean looking for this U-boat, and it just aired. It just aired in the States this past week, and it's going to be airing here in Canada on the History Channel on September 25th.
Oh, I'll have to make sure to tune in for that one. History Channel, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It feels kind of strange being someone that's grown up in Haldimand, Norfolk. Like, I grew up mostly in the Norfolk side,
okay,
out between Simcoe and Delhi. It's just kind of cool that I've been able to live in this area my whole life, and I've been able to do the kind of work that I do, which has mostly been traveling overseas to document all kinds of different things. I've spent a lot of time in Russia, I was in Iraq, Afghanistan, and I spent a lot of time in Israel, which is pretty cool.
So what drove you to become a videographer?
You know what? When I started out, growing up in Norfolk, going to Walsh Public School, where most of the people were either working in factories or farming, which is great, but that's just not something I was really interested in.
Yeah. I
was always interested in cameras. I was always interested in documentaries and that kind of stuff, but I had no idea how to get started. And so when I did start doing photography and transitioned into video, it was mostly weddings, and so I was freelancing, doing mostly weddings and stuff, and I'd get the occasional business Christmas party, or I remember I did a few retirement parties, and it was fine. You make some money, but I was always doing other things like cleaning floors at Sobeys to try and keep things going, right? One of the first few freelance jobs I did was actually for Haldimand Motors. It was the year. It was the year that Haldimand Motors did their first tricycle race.
Oh wow!
And so they asked me to document it. So it was pretty cool, and it was a lot of fun. And I had free reign to do whatever I wanted with the video, and so I really had some fun with it. And I used Queen's, "Ride My Bike" song, bicycle song, and put a bunch of stuff in. I remember bringing it into the owner of Haldimand Motors, John Edelman, and he loved it, and he was really happy with it. And so for like the next, I think, 5 years, they brought me back every year to document the tricycle race. And little things like that, which every time I do a job like that, that would always open up another little door to something else. Until next thing I know, I found myself going to Russia and documenting humanitarian aid for the natives in Arctic Russia.
Oh wow!
Which then opened the doors for people asking me to go to Afghanistan and document religious persecution in Afghanistan. And it's just been, each job always seemed to open up another door. That's good. Taking me further. So actually, my wife and I have been longtime Haldimand Motors shoppers. Every vehicle that we've bought since we've been married has always been from Haldimand Motors. It's just been so easy. You don't have to worry about crazy negotiations back and forth, and we've always been impressed with the vehicles that you guys have had on your lot.
Yeah, we tried to, Haldimand Motors does try to make it a very pleasing experience. They don't want us, car buying can be stressful as it is, and we don't want to add any more stress. So they no haggle pricing. I think a lot of people benefit from that. That way you can come in, you know that the price you see is what you're going to pay.
Yeah.
You're not worried about if you find out from somebody else that you were able to get them down, that there's none of that. So you go in and that's the price.
Yeah.
We're currently driving in a Chevy Silverado at the moment, and it's has a nice off-road package built into it, and it's one of the newer one. It's a 2019 with only actually 17,000 clicks on it. So
only
it is
17,000.
Yeah. So
wow.
it's. I know when people think of used that they're thinking of higher mileage vehicles, but we do get vehicles that are 1 to 2 clicks upwards of the higher mileage, but majority right now are between the 20,000 to 80,000 kilometer range.
Wow.
They drive like cars now, so they aren't the rough and bumpy of yesteryear. So Chris, you've been to Turks and Caicos, Russia, Afghanistan. What area did you find had the greatest experience for you?
Wow, that's it's really hard to choose because each place has brought its own unique challenges and its own excitement. So it's really hard to choose. I mean, the Turks and Caicos thing was very exciting because it was so different than anything else I'd done. I'm doing underwater stuff, I'm diving, I'm in front of the camera, and instead of having to worry about all the stuff that I normally have to do behind the scenes, I just have to be myself and do stuff, look for a U-boat, which is pretty cool. I really enjoyed my time in Russia. That was also very different. We'd be traveling across the tundra on reindeer sleighs and sleeping in the tents with the native Russians, and seeing how they've lived for the same way for 1,000 years. And seeing the challenges that they face, and also seeing how technology is impacting Arctic life over there. If you're asking me what my favorite place that I've traveled to is, it's got to be Israel. And I've spent more time in Israel than anywhere else in the world aside from home, of course. It's kind of funny when I think about it. I actually know the city of Jerusalem better than I know Hamilton.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I've spent so much time, staying in there and traveling around there, but like that.
So living in a small rural community and being able to travel, do you think it was ever possible to have that ability?
Oh man, that's a good question. I didn't truly know that it would be possible to have a career like I've had and to have stayed living in this area and raise a family here. And I feel very, very grateful that I can. And on occasions when I get to talk to young people coming out of school or people trying to figure out what they want to do for their careers, I tell them that anything is possible. It's not a bad thing to have come from this area, because Haldimand, Norfolk really represents an area that people work hard.
Well, I have to ask, were you happy with your vehicle?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the last vehicle that we bought here was the Jeep Wrangler, and I have loved that vehicle. I didn't think I was a Jeep guy, and now I don't know if I can ever go back. Although this truck does have me thinking twice about that, but I've driven that Jeep all across the country. In fact, just drove it out to Newfoundland and back. No, very happy with it, and we've loved every vehicle that we've ever bought from Haldimand Motors. The service and the quality and the selection you guys have is just amazing.
Well, I'm glad to hear. That's what we strive for.
Yeah, it's a great place.